This week in the Legacy of Kain fandom, the dead rose. Do you see what I did there? Hello and welcome to Nosgoth News Network with me, Basilim. Once again, it's been another fantastic, record-breaking, unexpected week in the Legacy of Kain fandom, with so many things that just came out of the blue, that have caught us by surprise. I keep opining that this is such a brilliant time to be a Legacy of Kain fan. Last week it proved it once again. So let's start to look into it and address the sort of the main thrust of things last week, obviously because it was the 25th anniversary of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver last week on the 16th of August. Obviously lots of things being timed to come around then, and to pique fans' interests. The first thing we should probably mention is the fact that Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and Blood Omen Legacy of Kain were released last week on the Evercade system. Now, maybe not what people would be hoping for, but if you're unfamiliar with it, Evercade is essentially a kind of a retro gaming system that it runs on cartridges. It's kind of an enthusiast's game preservation type of system. You can get it as like a console or as a handheld, and these are physical games that you plug in and play just like you used to do in the old days. Now, obviously, the day before the anniversary, Evercade announced that they will be doing a Legacy of Kain collection that, as I say, includes Blood Omen Legacy of Kain and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Now, as it stands, that is currently the only way to play Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver legitimately on a current gen system, or a newly released system, shall we say. Obviously, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is not available anywhere else. Blood Omen is only available on GOG. Both can be played on the PSN if you have a PlayStation 3, but they are not available anywhere else otherwise. The Evercade system is a way of bringing those back. They don't have any special extras or anything like that. They are straight up ports of the original games, complete with some quite amazing loading times for Blood Omen, it must be said. That's one aspect of preservation they've taken quite seriously. But it is fantastic after 25 years or more to have these games being re-released and back in our lives. Okay, danced around it a little bit at the start there, but obviously the big news this week is that Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, the Dead Shall Rise, the graphic novel that's been hovering in the background for a few weeks now, it's finally shown itself after being, shall we say, peppered throughout the week leading up to the anniversary. First off, we got the explanation or the exposure that there would be not just one cover, but there would be several different covers. So a number 2 cover, a second cover by Matthew Theron, was exposed. Along with that, we got the first inklings of merchandise and things that would go along with the project. So the first one of those to be shown was a replica of the Soul Reaver sword, which looks absolutely stunning. It has to be said. That was followed up by even more news about some latex masks that they hope will be used for cosplay. I can certainly see there'll be lots of those going around. Latex masks of Raziel and Kain, looking really, really good. And it kept going on. more and more things throughout. After the masks, the revelations just kept on coming. We got the exposure that there would be some kind of soundtrack associated with the project. Now, we already knew that Celldweller was involved in the project and was financing along with Josh Viola with their company Bitbot Media. It now turns out that Celldweller will be collaborating with Matthew Heafy of Trivium to bring us a soundtrack associated with the Dead Shall Rise. It looks like this will be in some types a remastering and reworking of the original Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver soundtracks. That will be on vinyl as well as digital download. Going further down that vein, a similar revelation we got soon after that was that there would be, and this one's a bit out of left field, that there would be a skate deck. Now, that is something that would seem unusual, but again, when you consider what we're digging in at, the nostalgia that Bitbot is going for, then the late 90s were very all about the X Games and that kind of sort of background, a lot of the old skateboarding going around. So it is a very kind of unexpected but sort of appropriate thing that they're going to be doing a skate deck. Now the design on that was a third cover design, this one by Aaron Lovett, depicting Race Raziel. So we've got another cover design there. And just after that, it went a little bit crazy. Days before the anniversary, they showed so many things, a whole shebang of different merchandise. We're talking shirts, prints, hats, 3 different covers, an interview with Josh Viola, going through some of the details of the project. And one thing that did crop up above others, hidden away in the t-shirt designs, was a name. And we finally got the name of the female protagonist we've been seeing for the last few weeks. Her name is Elileth, or Elaine, as some people in the Discord have taken to calling her. I think it's actually Elileth. Yeah, that set the stage for what was to come. Details were actually rather thin on the ground on the anniversary itself. But a couple of days later, news did indeed emerge that the Kickstarter campaign was imminent, and it launched just a couple of days after the anniversary. Now, they started off with a fairly modest target of 25k, that's 25,000 US dollars. That was absolutely obliterated in minutes. It didn't take it long to climb up to the number 1 in the Kickstarter charts, as it were, and they're currently sitting at just under $1 million in terms of backings. Wait, sorry, I got that wrong. $1 million. Okay, Torby, you can go. Sorry, some of us are from the 90s. Anyway, that has done phenomenally well, incredibly successful, many times what they were asking for, and lots of Legacy of Kain fans coming out showing their support and backing this project. And to be honest, there is so much in there that you could want for a community that's been starved of attention and releases, and even starved of merchandise for years. This is such a huge outpouring of Legacy of Kain stuff that I haven't seen for so long. So let's go through some of the different things that are available. There are not 1 but 3 different covers for the graphic novel. First one is the one we've been familiar with so far, was the Dave Reposer. As I said just before, they released 2 variant covers on that, the Matthew Tieran and the Aaron Lovett covers. Those can be gotten in hardcover, or you can obviously get the digital release of those. There's even tell that there is certain versions that have a deluxe with like a slipcase. The rewards are, I mean, there are so many things in here that it has taken me so long just to go through and put everything together and work out what everything is. I mean, it would take so long just to list everything out. So we have the replica Reaver. That's not the only replica sword. There are different versions of that replica Reaver. You can get it in plain, you can get it in sapphire, crimson, or gold. So if you want a bling Reaver, now is your chance. There is the vinyl album that can be gotten in digital form, but you can get it in vinyl. You can get it as a picture disc, or you can get it coloured, black, red, or blue. Looks like there are huge print sets here now. Different versions. It looks like there are 3 different versions of print sets. So one of the things that caught my eye, and I'm sure it will have caught several other people's eyes, is that there will be Crystal Dynamics concepts in there. And they specifically mentioned sets from the Crystal Dynamics archive. So potentially some things that haven't been seen before coming out into the open. Now, at least one of those has been doing the rounds on various fandom pages, which seems to be some sort of concepts for the Reaver. No one's quite sure what they are, but an interesting set of variations there. The next set of prints is quote 15 Crystal Dynamics prints, which come with a special certificate of authenticity. Now that could be to do with stuff from the archive. It's not all that clear. We'll see what comes out there. The third set is specially commissioned Bitbot prints, the ones that are created for the Dead Shall Rise. So there are concept arts and things for that there. Lots of different designs there by the sounds of that. You want t-shirts, hoodies, apparel, hats. They've got you covered there as well. I mean, the sheer breadth of different t-shirt designs is amazing. There are ones in here that are just the covers of the novel, but there are a series of different artworks commissioned from different artists, including Johnny Bush, Ninja Joe, Preston Acevedo, Sandra Rush, and others as well. The full list, they've actually been given names. I mean, this is where Elileth came from. The full list is there's one here called Ravenous Wraith, one here called Ve Victus, Dark Awakening is the Tiernan cover, Forsaken Fate is the Reposer cover, Eternal Descent or Infernal Descent are variations on the Lovett cover. If you want symbols, you can have Kain clan or Raziel clan. And if you want characters, you can have Wraith Raziel, Kain the Vanquisher, which looks to be a Blood Omen 2 Kain, Emperor Kain, which looks to be Elder Kain, of course our new protagonist Elileth the Seeker, Lieutenant Raziel, Kain the Eternal, and Elileth the Chronicler. So many different ones to choose from there. As we said before, there was the Lovett skate deck along there as well, and there are still so many other things in those reward tiers. There are flags in the Raziel and Kain clan symbols. There is a wall map scroll which has been created by series artist Daniel Kabuko. There is a signed script. There are concept artworks. There are even opportunities to be in the comic yourself. If you pick the appropriate tier, you can be illustrated in the comic. You can be part of the special thanks. All of this is stuff that is available for backers. It is perhaps too complicated to explain all of the different tiers and reward bundles, but if you go onto the Kickstarter website, you click back this project, you can see all of the different things that are available, all of the different bundles. There are various ways to back it. You can, if you want, just say you back the project and put some money down, you can just get the comic, or you can pick the comic in which form you desire, along with various different kinds of merchandise. It looks like there is so many different things going on, and as I say, the target says that the Legacy of Kain fandom might not be particularly poor. There's a lot of people dropping a lot of money on these things, so it's fantastic to see that there is a lot of demand for the franchise, and a lot of demand for merchandise for the franchise. So just to note that when you are clicking to get these to show your backing to the project, you're not actually putting money down. If you're not familiar with Kickstarters, you are in effect pledging to put your money ahead at a future date. You can change your mind if you want. I believe it's somewhere in mid-September that you will be required to put your money where your mouth is, as it were. So they didn't just show us some pretty pictures and tell us, okay, put some money down. They actually showed us a preview of the graphic novel itself, and some few pages of what's going on. Now you can actually find this on YouTube. It's been sort of animated, so there is a few pages of the graphic novel here, illustrating some of the subject matter. Now, the time period they pick, again, very, very interesting, filling in some details we didn't have before. In essence, it shows us the background to the raising of the lieutenants. So you have what appears to be a Blood Omen 2 Kain, or post Blood Omen 2 Kain, arriving at the tomb of the Seraphim. Now, a nice little scene out there where he finds a pilgrim worshipping at the outskirts of the tomb of the Seraphim. The tomb looking very much like it did in Soul Reaver, yeah, if you're worshipping the Seraphim, you can pretty much guess what Kain's going to think of you. So yeah, doesn't like that dude. Obviously Kain goes inside, what it shows us is something that's not yet been depicted in the canon, which is it shows us the raising of the lieutenants. This was always a bit of a mystery, shall we say. It's been documented and explained in various behind-the-scenes sources, in manuals, in interviews, in strategy guides. It's part of the backstory in so many different sources, but it's never actually been illustrated and never been shown to us. So this is the first time we've seen the raising of the lieutenants, and it's going to be in this graphic novel. You can't wait to see what else they're going to put in there, what other lore beats we might have. One interesting thing I did note that I thought was quite a neat touch is they show Kain scratching Malik's tomb. Now, this was something that was kind of a thing in Soul Reaver. Obviously, Malik, if you've played Blood Omen, you know Malik's not in the tomb of the Seraphim. But what turns up to be in the tomb of the Seraphim, there's just sort of an empty place for Malik, and when you find it, there's a big scratch through it. Developer interviews had told us that Kain did that as sticking his finger up at Malik, shall we say, and yeah, it shows him doing that in the comic, so that's quite a neat little touch there. One, of course, wonders what they've got in store for the future. If they've nearly made $1 million, I'm sure that there's a lot of other things they've probably got up their sleeves. So it'd be interesting to see how things develop with the Dead Shall Rise in future. Beyond that, we did have a couple of other things in our background. Now, I was working on some lore videos. I'm sure you'll all know the Arcane Tomes and the Lore Bites series that I work on. Well, I did end up with well, it was only supposed to be a regular Arcane Tomes on Kain's Empire to coincide with the anniversary. It kind of it got a bit monstrous. So we had another big deep dive, this one looking into all of the various details of Kain's Empire. It's probably one of the more detailed sources you'll find about the ins and outs of the Empire. So do go check that out. One of the things that we ended with on the end of that video, something Raina's been doing for a couple of years now. She had originally planned to bring out an art book for Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, kind of in the wake of her sort of HD upscale remaster mod a few years back, but obviously got drawn into the gaming industry and never really got a chance to finish it until now. So she's just completed that, and we've put that out as part of the 25th anniversary celebrations. Do check that out. I mean, it is a fantastic reference source. It's got so many artwork and so much material there from the development of the series. Some of it is unseen, some of it you won't have seen before. Lots of explanations. Stunning piece of work, and I wrote the foreword, which is nice, because I wrote it quite a long time ago and I didn't remember what I'd written. Needless to say, there are some community figures in there as well, so thank you to everyone involved, and thank you to everyone that was with us for the anniversary. Thank you to everyone that's downloaded the artwork, and of course thank you to everyone that is currently sort of working with BitBot and the other players to bring the series back to life. It's brilliant to see. We can only hope that there will be more coming in future. As I always say, very, very exciting time. So one last final shout out that I think I'll do, just as a personal note. Most of the time when I do these, I'm actually wearing a Legacy of Kain shirt. You generally can't see it, but say, look, there we go. There's clan symbols there. I've got quite a few of these around that I have. Here's here. Nice logo. But the one I want to highlight today, just because it may now seem familiar, is this one here. So, if you're paying attention to the stuff that's appeared, that design might be quite familiar to you. This is by Sandra Rush. This design I have here is actually one by a company called The Hunger Club. They printed and produced these t-shirts. I got this a few years ago. Now, they are, by the looks of it, the design has been taken. Sandra has put this across, and it's now been adopted into the Dead Shall Rise collection, shall we say. So they're doing their own version of this shirt called Vivictus, with some of the Dead Shall Rise at the top. Just want to give a little shout out there to Hunger Club, because I've had their one for a number of years. and it is still available if you're quite small or quite big. They do still have some stock left. This is called this one here is called it's called Legacy. So that t-shirt there is called Legacy. Do look into Hunger Club if you're able to have there. It's a wonderful design. So really nice job, Sandra. Like it, whether you buy the Hunger Club or the Bitbot version. Think of how well Sandra's done there. It's a brilliant design. Anyway, thanks for everyone who's done, everyone who's contributed, and everything going forward. Let's see where the series takes us next. Until next time, Vae Victus. Terrell down there. If you can see him, there you go.